Hi guys, welcome back to the channel and Happy New Year. I've been grinding making videos for my business, and so I haven't really had time to make any YouTube videos. Before you know it, it's 2020, and this year I'm aiming to make a few more YouTube videos, starting with this one. I'm going to keep this one pretty short, but it's more of a 2019 roundup and more of a setting goals for 2020. So every year at the beginning of the year, I go to a shop, I buy a brand new notepad, I take it to the nearest coffee shop or cafe, and I write down a list of all the things I aim to achieve in 2020. Now obviously this is just another way of doing the New Year's resolution thing, but to have it written it down actually helps quite a lot, because then you can come back to it throughout the year, and anything you're not doing as well on that you really wanted to do well on, you can improve on that. And you can come back to it at the end of the year then, and look at where you were at the beginning of the year and where you are now. And I think that really shows your progression. Whereas if you're sort of keeping it in your head, you can forget things, it might not seem as important. When it's written it down, it just seems that much more important. So I have this notepad with everything that I write down, and I will be doing it for 2020, of just things that I want to achieve by the end of the year. Where I like to keep that private, I've actually got a few things that I do want to share with you about 2019 and lessons to take into 2020, and I'd like you to share with me as well down in the comment section down below. What are your goals for 2020 and what have you learned for 2019, whether it's YouTube, business, or even your personal life. So now on to the first category that I've chosen, and that is best achievement of 2019. Now it's always good to have an achievement, or to look back on the last year and what have you achieved, how have you grown. And for me, I won Best Videographer Award in my county in the UK, which is really nice. I don't normally enter these kind of awards, as I think my work speaks for itself, but this time I decided to enter as I'm sort of friends with a lot of the community and stuff, and it's really nice to have the award ceremony and the dinner, but I happened to win the Best Videographer Award as well. And then we also won Best Overall Score at the awards, which means we got a higher overall score from the judges than some of the other suppliers like the florists and the venues, which is amazing, because it really, it's not just achievement for me, but it really shows how far wedding videography is going. It's always been that kind of extra thing that maybe people don't need. If they've got a bit of budget for, they'll have, at least in the UK that is. But to have it win Best Overall Supplier, I don't know, it speaks volumes for how far wedding videography is coming, and how it's really going to be a staple for most people's weddings in the year to come. Next is my best gear purchase of 2019, and this won't come as a surprise for a lot of you who've seen the channel before. I don't mean to suck up to this product, but I just love it so much. It's the DJI Osmo Pocket. Obviously I've bought a few new lenses this year, the Tamron 17-28, the Sony 35mm 1.8, and yes, I think they're great lenses, but at the end of the day all they do is supply a new focal length to a style of filmmaking that I'm already doing. Whereas having purchased the Osmo Pocket, it's challenged me to create different things. It's made me fall in love with the kind of filmmaking process again, because I can literally chuck it in my pocket and bring it anywhere. I find that if I'm going on, say, a trip to London, whereas before I wouldn't have taken my professional camera with me, because it just requires taking a bag and then more equipment, lenses, stuff like that. I can now take my Osmo Pocket, which is better quality than a phone, and I'll still be getting photos and videos from my trip to London, but I won't be carrying around any extra equipment and stuff. And that includes things like time lapses and motion lapses. And I just think, yeah, the Osmo Pocket has just changed the way I feel about taking videos and photos in personal life and outside of work. The next one has to be a negative. You've always got to think about mistakes that you made in 2019. So here's my biggest mistake I made in 2019. And that is, I took too much work on, simple as that. So I'm in a situation where my wedding business took off pretty quickly. I went full-time pretty quickly after creating a business plan. It just went amazingly well. And then it got to 2019 and I took all of the work. So wedding work came in, corporate work came in, and I just took more and more work until eventually I just tired myself out. And I spent the rest of the year playing catch up. So the first half of the year was amazing. I was earning money, I was doing lots of jobs, and the second half of the year was literally playing catch up, and I'm still playing catch up now. So the reason this is a mistake because obviously everyone loves to have work. Like people, I know there's a lot of you out there who would love to be in a position where you could just turn down work if you wanted to. But my point is, if you're constantly working on people's videos, especially sort of in the wedding industry, if you're constantly working on people's videos that you've already done, you can't really progress into the next stage of what you want to do. So for example, I wanted to redo my website. I want to rebrand this year. I want to host a couple of events for charity, but I wanted to do all that last year, but I couldn't, just because I took so much work on that I couldn't actually develop my brand. I couldn't do anything else, so you end up being stuck in a catch-up. So if I did the same this year, then my business would be the same at the end of this year than it was at the beginning, just like it was in 2019. So something just to take note of, learn from my mistakes, and that is take the work that you want to take on. Remember that you need time to advance, to develop, to come up with ideas. We got into this industry because it's creative and not because we want to be working for someone else all the time, hence the YouTube stuff at the moment. Going on from that, I wanted to talk about my best decision of 2019, and there's two things I want to talk about. The first is creating a YouTube channel. Again, 2019 was a very, very busy year for me, and I was creating a lot of videos for other businesses, for other people, and I just thought, you know what, I got into this industry because I wanted to be creative. Like it's personal to me, and so creating a YouTube channel was my way of showing my creativity. Obviously I love the community as well. I love watching YouTube video. I watch so much YouTube video, it's unreal. But really it was just a way for me to express my creativity a little bit more, and it really helped again make me sort of enjoy filmmaking a little bit more. And the second thing I wanted to say was Musicbed. So this year I signed up to music licensing website called Musicbed for my wedding films, and I was already signed up to Soundstripe. I've been a member of Artlist before, but Musicbed, although it's a big sort of commitment in terms of like financially, it's quite a lot of money. It has actually really changed the quality of my films. It's amazing how the quality of the music, once you start paying more for it, can really influence the quality of your films. And so Musicbed was a really, really important decision in my wedding filmmaking business this year, just because the quality of the music is amazing, and so the quality of my videos has gone right up. And lastly for 2019 is the biggest lesson learned. So as I mentioned earlier, did a lot of work, perhaps too much, and didn't focus enough on development. And so my lesson learned for 2019 is to leave time for development, whether it's days off, whether it's like a day a month where I just want to think about what's next for the business. This year obviously want to rebrand and host a couple of events, and so I think the key is going to be to give myself a day a month just to think about what's next, how I can develop, and generally maybe come up with ideas for creative projects and YouTube videos. So going into 2020, where do I want to be? My goals for this year include, firstly, the wedding. I'm getting married this year and I want to have an amazing party. So I'm going to be focusing on saving money for that, booking suppliers, and just making sure it's absolutely amazing. Also the honeymoon, we're going to go to California and do a tour. So I'm going to focus on booking things for that, making that really good. And also I'm looking forward to finding the perfect sort of gear that I can use to document my trip to California, just because that's kind of what I really enjoy doing when I'm going on holiday. Whether it's a relaxing holiday or it's a holiday to make a travel video, I always like to take a bit of gear with me and get as much stuff as I can for the memories. Business wise, I'm just looking to rebrand my wedding filmmaking business from Chris Spice Films to Spice Wedding Films. The reason for this is when I started the business, it was just me. It was a very small business, and now my partner's involved in it. I've got suppliers recommending me, venues recommending me, photographers recommending me, and now I feel like it's more than just Chris Spice. It's more of an entity in itself. It's sort of grown past just me, and this is why I want to rebrand. So my focus this year is going to be on rebranding the business and making it a well-known name in the industry. Let's get something you guys are probably interested in, and that is gear. For 2020, I'm looking forward to a few bits of gear which may or may not come out. First, obviously A7S III, if it ever comes out, or A7 IV even. I basically just want a Sony with 4K 60. That is all I'm asking. 1080 is great, obviously, but Sony 4K is still quite nice, and to have that in 60 frames would be good. Also looking forward to the X-T4 by Fuji. I tried out the X-T3 this year and it was really nice. I love the quality out of it. The colours are insane, but the lack of IBIS really stopped me from using it, because I use cameras handheld quite a lot, and I didn't really like the options when it came to stabilised lenses on the Fuji system, so it would stop me from using that system completely. Next thing is possibly an Osmo Pocket 2. The Osmo Pocket was a first generation product, so I can only imagine or hope that they're already working on correcting any issues with like the hardware and things like that people have commented on. My wish list is a sort of zoom style lens like the Mavic Zoom, where you can have 2 different focal lengths, because it would just make it a lot more versatile, and also a way just to make that screen bigger, maybe flip something or slide something out would be really nice. Folding screens are becoming a thing this year, so maybe a folding screen would be good, I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What gear are you looking forward to in 2020? And with that, that's it from me. I know this has been a bit of a personal video, but I hope you liked it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Obviously, comment down below what are your lessons from 2019 that you've learned, your biggest mistake, your best achievement, and where do you hope to be at the end of 2020? This year I'm going to be doing a lot more gear videos, but I'm also going to be doing a lot more videos on lifestyle like this. So the lifestyle videographer rather than sort of sharpness of lenses and focusing and stuff like that. How a bit of gear can change the way you see your filmmaking process. So if you're looking forward to that, then please do subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.